Just because you have a beautiful website in Framer doesn't mean anything unless people can actually find it. Without optimizing your site for SEO, you won't be discovered by search engines like Google or even ChatGPT, resulting in no customers and a broken website. In this video, I'm going to give you a crash course on optimizing your Framer site for SEO. We'll cover how search engines work with Framer, tweaking your site settings for the best SEO performance, structuring page content, alt text on images, and optimizing for page performance. Let's go. So first, let's actually talk about the basics of how search engines work. So there's three core parts to this. There's crawling, there's indexing, and there's ranking. So crawling is when Google sends out automated bots, or we'll call them crawlers or spiders, that browse the web by following links from page to page. They discover new and updated content constantly. Then there's indexing. So once a page is being crawled by Google, Google actually stores this in a massive database, which we'll call the index. If your page isn't indexed, then it simply just will not appear in search results. And then lastly is ranking. So when someone searches on Google, Google pulls from its index and ranks pages based on hundreds of signals to determine which results are most relevant and trustworthy. And obviously, you want to be as high as possible. Now, in Framer, we want to optimize our site as best as we possibly can for all three of these areas so we have the best chance of being discovered. By the way, I'm including a free Framer SEO checklist, which you can grab in the resources down below, which will cover everything we talk about in this video. So here I have my website, and it's for a client that's actually an art museum here in Melbourne. Now, let's actually first start by looking at our site settings, which is where the core of your SEO optimization is going to be. So I'll go into my settings here, and we have a few different things going on, but let's first look at general, because this is where the core of our content will be. So first is going to be a site title and site description. Now, it's quite important to have both of these. For the site title, I'd recommend anything between 50 or 60 characters. You kind of want it to be fairly specific. And then the site description, you have a little bit more room here to play. So between 150 and 160 characters is the recommendation. But the core here is you kind of want to use keywords that's going to be discoverable on search. So if we're talking about a museum, maybe we'll actually mention in the site description here something about all the amazing artworks that this museum might have. Now, it's also great to add your site language because this will also be picked up by SEO. So I'm just going to put in English here. Now, if we scroll down just a little bit, we also have our site images. So inside of Framer, we can add a favicon, a social preview, and an Apple Touch icon. So your favicon is the little icon that appears next to the tab itself in your browser. And inside of Framer, it's pretty cool because we can add a light theme and a dark theme. So depending on someone's device, whether they're using light mode or dark mode, you can actually customize the favicon so you can always have the right sort of contrast. We can also add a social preview image in here too. So this is when you actually go and share that link on, say, a LinkedIn post or something like that, and you kind of get that little graphical preview. This is what we'll actually show here. So being able to set this is really, really important because if you don't have anything, then nothing's going to show at all. Then we have the Apple Touch icon, which on Apple, you can actually save a bookmark essentially in your browser to your home screen. And essentially this will be the icon that gets showed when that gets saved. Now, I should also note here that you should actually set up a custom domain. So right now I have this project on a framer.app domain. Now, yes, while it will still be discovered by SEO, it's not going to be discovered as well because it still belongs on the framer.app staging domain here. And that's competitive with every other website that has .framer.app. So it's actually really important that you actually move to a custom domain so you can actually rank the highest possible. Now, let's talk about redirects as well. So inside your site settings, you can set up redirects. Now, this is incredibly important, especially if you're migrating from an old website platform or you're moving to Framer, or let's say you're working with lots of different pages and you're doing a bit of a cleanup and you're changing the slug of a page. So your slug is like this / and then the unique ID that comes at the end of a link. So for example, you might have mywebsite.com /about /contact /home. That home about contact, that's your slug. And that's the unique identifier or the unique ID for that page. So why redirects are extremely important here is one, you want to make sure that all your links are working, even if they're old links, because chances are you might have some backlinks on the internet. So whether you've posted to your website before in, say, a Facebook post, an Instagram post, maybe some sort of article has referenced you, if you have a broken link, that's actually a bad indicator for Google, and therefore you're not going to rank as highly. So it's really important that you make sure all the links that you have now, and also the ones you've had previously, still redirect to an existing page. Now, the other thing I'll mention in our site settings here is under the page settings. So the other thing I'll mention here too, while we're in our site settings, is that for each individual page, you can actually set up specific SEO settings. So for example, if I go into my events page here, you will notice that by default, my page settings, so the title and description here, will automatically be set to whatever is set in general. However, if I want to override this and make it a little bit more specific, which I recommend, you can do that in the individual page. So for example, we might still call this Castlemaine Art Museum, but at the end, we might put events. Just so it's a little bit clearer when somebody Googles Castlemaine Art Museum events, that this page will actually show up correctly. Similar with the description, we could actually add something a little bit more specific in here. And again, it just kind of helps Google and search engines pick up what the content of that page actually is. Now, under specific pages as well, we can actually determine whether we want this to be shown on search engines at all. So if we don't want this page to be shown for whatever reason, we can just simply untick this. And if we also want to disable it from our site search as well, we can do that here. So to reference how your site search actually works, if I go to any Framer site, and at the end of that, I could go /sitemap.xml, you will notice that it actually loads our entire sitemap of every page that is being discovered. So as you can see, Framer.com has a ton of these different pages, and this is a quick, cheeky way to actually find what pages exist on the website. But if you essentially want to hide it from here, so it's not actually discoverable at all unless you visit that very specific link, then you can do that just by disabling that in the settings. And we can also set a specific social preview for that page as well. Now, what if you're working with CMS content? So for example, I actually have a CMS collection set up here for all the different exhibitions for this museum. And I want to make sure that every page has its own unique SEO as well. Now, since the CMS is basically a templated page, how do we actually configure this inside our site settings? Well, you'll notice that we actually have a specific view here for our CMS page types. And in here, we can do something quite clever, which is to link the CMS variables as part of our title or page description. So for example, in this case, you can see all the different variables from my CMS that I could reference here. So in this case, I want to reference the title. And then maybe at the end of here, I want to put Castlemaine Art Museum. And you can see at the end here, the preview of what that might look like. Similar with the page description here, I could actually just pull in a bunch of the information that we have from the actual content itself within the CMS to actually build out that page description. And for the social preview image, it's the exact same thing. We can actually reference an image field from within our CMS, just like that. And then if I save that, and now every CMS page within this collection will have unique SEO. So that's our page settings. Let's talk about headings and content. Heading hierarchy matters for SEO because it helps search engines determine structure and relevance on your page. So when we use text styles in Framer, not only does it help with making our design consistent, it's also helping our SEO by utilizing H1, H2, H3 heading types. So for example, if I come to my homepage here, you notice we've got this text, which is called upcoming events. And we also have all our text styles set up. Now, if I go to my assets tab here under styles, you will notice I can set these styles up. And like I mentioned, it's really great for consistency in terms of design, but also Google and search engines can read this and will actually go, okay, any heading is priority content. So when a search engine or say ChatGPT might read this website, it goes, okay, upcoming events, that's a real core part of the content, and then followed by everything else. So actually using your heading text styles inside of Framer is really going to help your page be discovered. So next, let's actually talk about images and alt text. So adding alt text images helps with accessibility for visually impaired users, but also for SEO, so search engines can better understand your content. And we can add alt text images in Framer really easily. So simply just select any image on the canvas, go to your properties panel under fill here, and then you see you've got the option to add alt text where you want to describe your image. Now, quick tip for adding alt text, you don't need to go, this is an image of. You can just be very specific in terms of what is actually going on. So I could say people talking at an event. And this information will again just help search engines like Google or ChatGPT to actually pick up and understand your content. So the last thing I want to talk about is performance. Now, search engines like Google have lots of different signals to determine what websites are relevant and trustworthy. Things like URL parameters, page load speeds, bounce rates, mobile responsiveness are all contributing factors. So it's really important to make sure that your Framer site is actually performing the best way possible. So that means just being conscious over like using really large files for like videos or images, anything that's going to kill the speed of your website. Even adding lots of different effects will actually play a big part of this. So you want to make sure that your website is actually optimized for performance, which therefore is going to increase your SEO ranking. Now, as a general rule, you really want to make sure that your site has a strong performance score. Now, I'll leave a link to this one down below. It's called Lighthouse Metrics, and essentially it's a free tool that lets you test your website and its performance. So let's just use framer.com, for example, and we'll start the test. So this might take a couple of minutes to run, but essentially it's going to check my site performance across all the different sort of like locations there are in the world for hosting. And this will kind of give you a score. And this will be a really good indicator in terms of how your site is optimized for performance. Now, interestingly, Framer.com is quite low, which is actually really surprising by me, but you kind of get a bit of a breakdown in terms of how that actually is audited and how it's going. So in terms of performance, we can see that's quite low. Accessibility is quite good. Best practices is quite good. And for SEO, it's almost 10 out of 10. But it will give you some actually very clear indicators in terms of what you can do to increase performance. And that's a crash course on optimizing your Framer site for SEO. Now, if you want access to my free Framer SEO checklist, I'll leave a link to that resource down below. But if you are interested in mastering Framer, like truly mastering it, feel free to check out my A to Z course where I teach you everything you need to know about Framer in the shortest amount of time. It's the most up-to-date and relevant course on Framer on the internet. It's over 100 lessons, 10 hours of content, and we even built a Framer plugin so you can learn Framer in Framer. But until next time, I'll catch you later.